by the Temple Hill Lions Club, and it's all volunteers. And a lot of those volunteers are getting a little bit elder, not saying they're old, but they put a lot of time into it, and we try to really help them out this year to get things moving, because we want to make sure our fair is a great fair, and anything you can do to help them out, they would appreciate it, because they, like I said, they put a lot of time into that, and they're all volunteers. So the other events coming up are this next Friday, June the 28th, is Concert on the Square. Tyrone Dunn is playing at that event. That will be here on the downtown square. July the 5th is the community band event, and that's always a very well community attended event. And July 11th, the Louisville Orchestra will be on the Glasgow Square. So those are some events to attend here on the square. If there's any other events, please let me know that I'm leaving out. Okay, we need to approve the minutes. Hold on, before we approve the minutes, I'll do that when we do the road. I'm going to bring you up on the roads, okay? We need to approve the minutes of May 21st and May 23rd meetings. I need a motion and a second.
Make that motion, Judge.
Motion by Durham.
Second.
Second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. I've already done the announcements. And like I said, if there's anything I'm leaving out, please let me know, so that way we can get that announced. Okay, public officials reports. Need to approve the county monthly financial report for the county judge executive, April 2024. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer.
Second.
What? Oh, is it May? So I need to fix that before. Okay, hold on one second. So that should be May. That was a typo. I'm sorry. Need to approve the county financial report for May 2024. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer. Second by Gross. Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. County attorney. Need to approve the county attorney monthly settlement report for May 2024. Need a
Motion.
motion. That was Botts.
Second.
Second by Pettigo. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. County clerk, need to approve the county clerk May 2024 fee report.
Make that motion.
Motion by Durham.
Second.
Second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the sheriff's May 2024 fee report. Subject to, go ahead.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer.
Second.
Second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Okay, reports. Building inspector will not be here this morning. He didn't have anything. Coroner, I know he gave his report to you. Yes, Marcus, yes.
Morning, Court. Coroner's office made 10 responses the month of May, 5 natural death, 3 accidental, and 2 suicides. That's all I have.
County Clerk, Helena called this morning. Her father is having surgery in Bowling Green, so she will not be here this morning. And so she sends her, we hope that everything goes good with that. She said, I think, if they have any questions, yeah, Tater's here to answer any questions, okay? Okay, the jailer will not be here this morning either, if there's anything for that right now. Nope, okay. Parks and Rec Department.
Morning.
Morning.
So the month of May was not good to us at all, thanks to Mother Nature. But we had a total of 13 rainouts the month of May, and we missed 158 games. But out of those 158 games, we were able to make up 151. So there were 7 games out of those 158 that we did not get made up. Almost had it. That late afternoon shower 2 weeks ago on Saturday afternoon killed our afternoon games. So very proud of that. Like I said, our season came to an end this past week. We're now in tournament play, regular season. We'll finish our regular season tournament this weekend, Saturday the 22nd. Again, just a reminder, we're hosting the Cal Ripken 10U District All-Star Tournament this year at Jackie Browning Park. That will be June 27th through the 30th, same time as the county fair is going on. Month of May, gate, we brought in $12,256, and then our concessions did $15,992. Total amount of $28,248. Also, just want everybody to know that our new field groomer and our new gator was delivered last Monday, and it is working out marvelous. So again, thanks to Court Park Committee for getting the Parks and Rec those pieces of equipment. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was a long wait, a year, literally, and a half, yes. Thank you, Christopher. Road Department, Jamie is sick this morning. Susan is here.
Good morning, Court.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet. Second mowing cycle, they're in the Slick Rock area heading toward Temple Hill. Of course, working on storm cleanup, replacing tiles, and we're getting some pothole patching done. So, any questions for me? Thank you.
While we're in the Road Department, though, I'm going to go ahead since they're all here with us today. We have our Chief District Engineer for the district here today, Mr. Joe Plunk, and Blake Williams is here today with us as well. He is our superintendent here. Is that your so you're over the whole area here, right? You're the boss. So that's who you call in Barren County.
Engineer supervisor for the
Okay.
Glasgow section.
Okay, gotcha.
Also got Justin Young here. He's
I
branch
just,
manager.
yeah, I was going to
But yes, we're here pursuant to KRS 177.33 to present to the court the Barren County 2024-25 fiscal year rural secondary program. Projected initial allotment was $1,826,648. And if y'all haven't seen, I've got a laid y'all handout so y'all will follow. Carryover from last year was a negative, went over $10,278. So the total funds available were $1,816,370. Item 1 on the list is KYTC's routine maintenance and traffic on Barren County's 145.491 miles of rural secondary roads. That's $4,771 a mile, which is a total of $694,100. That's 38% of the initial distribution. Item 2, 3, and 4 is our projects, KYTC rural secondary projects for next year. Item 2 is asphalt resurfacing on 3.2 miles of Kentucky 1318 Tobacco Road, beginning at the intersection with US 31E, extending east to the intersection with Peters Creek Road. The project estimate is $405,421. Item 3 is asphalt resurfacing on 1.258 miles of Kentucky 255 Rocky Hill Road, beginning at the intersection with Kentucky 252, extending north to the intersection with Steam Mill Road. That project estimate cost is $172,114. Item 4 is asphalt resurfacing on 1.754 miles of Kentucky 2131 Quarry Hill Halfway Road, beginning at the intersection with Evans Road, extending north to the intersection with Kentucky 70. That project estimate is $270,738. Item 5 is flex funds given to the county for their resurfacing needs. That is $276,111, which is 15% of the initial distribution. Leaves a balance of 0. Any questions? Yes, y'all notice in the minutes, and please send a copy of those after next meeting when they're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and, since we're already on that, we need to acknowledge and approve, it's on the back page, the 2024-2025 Rural Secondary Program that he just went over. I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Pettigo. Any discussion? I will say the relationship between the state and the county, I mean, you all do anything we talk about and need in the county. Y'all been great to work with, and Joe's been great to work with as well, and just any extra money, just send them this way, you know. That was a topic, though, at the judges' conference, was about the numbers, you know, with the legislators, talking about the monies that they give to that, and how the flex amounts have went down. And, but they were requesting more, so maybe that'll be something they'll look into, so hopefully, because we got a lot of roads here in Barren County. Yep. Okay, all in favor say aye. Y'all awake? Gotcha. Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. We'll get you a copy of the minutes. Thank you, I know you're busy. Okay? Okay, thank you all. Sheriff?
Thank you.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
Hope everyone is well. Little deviation from my normal program, gives some numbers for our past 11 months. Obviously, we're about to end a fiscal year. So for again, 11 months, because we didn't put June in this, obviously we're halfway through. So for the month, the 11 months past, the Sheriff's Office has rendered to the court $1,535,218. Of that, $1 million was commissions collected. So that's a fees going to the court. So basically, we're about 60% self-sufficient, plus your 40%, give or take one or two, that maintains our budget and our supplies. A little bit of a breakdown on that. Paper server guy had been working by himself for the last 12 months. He alone pulled in $103,000 serving papers. Our transport guy, which Squire Durham has rode along with, I think he's had more jail time than the combined court in the last 2 months because they've been transporting prisoners. That transport guy has drawn in the last 11 months $24,000 on transports. Road guys have served warrants to accumulate to the total of $3,000 because every time we serve a warrant at the jail or locally, it's a $10 fee for that. So just to give you a little breakdown of how our people are kind of bringing in some of these funds, that's just 2 or 3 areas with transport, with paper servers, with collections, with fees, things of that nature. That end of the fiscal year, it obviously shows up because that's when we do our calculations on that. So, questions or comments for me?
Nope.
It's overwhelming when you see how the operation runs, it is.
Especially compared to other facilities.
That's correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, so we didn't have any committee meetings this time, but if you do need to say something during your portion, just I'll call each of you all that are the heads of those committees. Administrative and Budget Committee, Mr. Kinslow. Okay. Building and Property Committee, Mr. Botts.
We're good this month.
Okay. Economic Development Committee,
Judge?
yes.
I've asked Maureen Carpenter, the director of the Barren County Economic Authority, to come and kind of give us a little update of everything going on through the court. So please welcome her.
Welcome.
Photo for you. Visuals always help when you're trying to talk through some things.
Thank you.
I drive by it every day, it looks different on here.
Thank you. Yeah, I get questions like, what's that going down on past Dollar Store on the left? That's why I always say that. That's the way they describe it.
So yes, this is actually, we just made a new investment because things were changing so much, and when we get requests for RFIs, they ask for pictures, so we just invested in a drone, and this was our first time going out there and taking a picture. So came out pretty well. Once we get used to it, we'll have some video in that. But things are busy in economic development. We're really excited. So the image that I've provided you, this is South Cooper Industrial Park. So this is on 68 and 80, just down from Highland Glen. Highland Glen is fully developed, so we moved on here. And so what you're looking at, if you are on 68 and 80 and you're looking to the left, on the left-hand side, that's what we call Lot 7. That is a 100,000 square foot speculative building. It is just now fully enclosed. That should be done by the end of July. That building can more than double in size on the graded pad that we've put there. On the other side, you're looking at Lot 1. That's a 50,000 square foot building. That one should be complete by the end of August. As you're looking, you can see we have a small access road. We have just signed a contract. We're going to be extending that road another 2,500 feet all the way to the back of the property, so every lot in South Cooper will have access to the road. In addition, down that road, we're running our natural gas, so we have about 2,500 feet of 68 and 80 where we need to run the gas line, and then we'll be running that gas line to there. We're also bringing in the water. The fiber will run down that line, and we're also bringing in sewer. So by the time we're done, all of our sites in South Cooper will have infrastructure, and we're also grading 2 additional sites. So right now, what we're seeing, it's speed to market. And when we say speed to market, they either, if they're not building their own building, they want a building, but to build a building, they want the infrastructure there. They don't want to hear us say, we can get it to you in 60 days, 90 days. They're looking for it to be at the site. So part of this funding is the bond funds that you all approved several years ago, so we're finalizing that. We also received about $3 million in grants, so grant funding is going towards that. So everything will be paid for and moving on. It actually came in significantly under budget, so we're able to do a little, like we weren't planning to bring the natural gas all the way down, but because prices actually went down, we're going to be able to extend that all the way. So that's what we're doing out at South Cooper. We're seeing a lot of activity. We've got busy season. We'll be in DC next week at the Select USA conference. That is an international conference for international companies that are looking to make foreign direct investments. So we've got some meetings set up there. We'll be there with the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development as well. And then we've got some other shows that we're doing. But when we did a press release a couple weeks about this, we sent it out to over 200 site consultants. And within 5 minutes, I had one contact me and ask me about what the capacity was going to be. So our communications, letting people know that these are out there, we're getting interest. And we're seeing interest from a lot of different sectors. We've had everything from food. We've had a company that makes refrigeration cases look at our area. We still obviously have the automotive is a big interest in the EV, but we're seeing a very diverse mix of projects come in. So we're excited about this. We think with all of our efforts over the last 4 years developing the property that hopefully will be landing something soon. Can't promise, but we're putting in the work to get that done. Just another little thing over in Cave City, Chapacha Park, we're just about done grading 3 lots over there. They're smaller lots for about 50,000 square feet. So we plan to have that project finished by the end of July too. So any questions? And you can always call me with any questions you have. If you're hearing rumors about something, let me know. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming. All right, next committee is Emergency Management Solid Waste. Mr. Stinson?
We have nothing, but I'd like to thank Marcus for his solid waste report.
Good. Okay, Jail Committee, you said, okay,
We don't have nothing at this time.
okay. Parks and Rec Committee, was there anything?
We have nothing at this time.
Okay. And Transportation Committee.
The only thing I want to bring up is the reverse salt auction. We did put in a bid for 350 tons of salt with Compass Minerals. We have 600 ton on hand and in stock, and we've got promised an extra 350 ton. And then, of course, if we go over that, they're able to fulfill that too. So that's all I have.
Do we need to vote on that?
Sorry.
Do we need to vote on the bid?
It's already, it's in your minutes, but we can go
Okay.
ahead and do that now.
If you want to, yeah, go ahead and do that.
I'll make
since
a
you brought it
motion,
up.
we accept Compass Minerals bid on the salt for $99.26 a ton, 350 ton.
And the total is $34,000.
$34,741.
Okay? Motion by Coomer, second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The only other thing, since we're already on that, is we do have a bill over our limit to pay to Diamond Equipment for skid steer
And it's down here.
repairs, so I just thought we'd go ahead and do
Go ahead and
that
knock that
while
out. Yep, that's fine.
The total repair was $5,402.58. I make a motion that we pay that to Diamond Equipment.
Okay, I have a motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Pettigo. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
That's all I
Okay,
have, Judge.
motion carries. Okay, so that's all of our committees. Do we have any other special guests that we need? Okay, we've knocked all the special guest parts out. Okay, no old business. We need to approve the payment of claims as presented. I need a motion and a second for that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Kinslow. Second by Stinson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the transfer of funds. I need a motion and a second.
Make that motion, Judge.
Motion by Durham,
Second.
second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So we've done C already, we've done D already. Okay, we need to approve the resolution for House Bill 1, project grant application. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer.
Second.
Second by Botts. To just explain, this is just basically for us to apply to kind of get us into the mix of this opportunity they've got out there. These are for economic development monies for multi-county projects, and we have some stuff that might qualify for it, but we have to basically tell them that we're interested before we can start applying. So this is what this is. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the memorandum of agreement contract for Ritter's Mill Low Water Ford. Need a motion and a second before I can talk. Motion by Durham,
Second.
second by Coomer. I think he got you. Second by Coomer. Discussion on this. This is just extra monies that Department of Local Government is sending us for the Ritter's Mill project because it was a little bit more expensive than we had originally planned. So they're sending more money. That's always a positive. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to acknowledge and receive approved personnel actions. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Kinslow. Second by Gross. Any discussions?
Is this for the governmental custodial? Is this what that
No, it's for here. The one that we have here is leaving.
custodial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's leaving. She's pursuing another career path, and the man that we've got, he's a good catch. So I'm excited to have him. He used to be a custodian for Barren County Schools too. So yeah, he's retired. So. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Need to approve appointments to boards and councils as presented. Let me see what was sent out, because I want to make sure on this. Yep. Okay. There was one I needed to add into this, and the mayor and I talked about these. I'm going to hold on these two because I need some more information on the two for the mayor. Because these are joint nominations, and we talked last night about it. And then there was another one that I needed to add to the one that's not going to be doing that. So on this appointments to boards, let's see, oops, I'm trying to think which one that is. See, okay, we'll figure it out. Let's do this right now. I'm going to hold this one off to the special call on Thursday.
Okay.
Because I just want to make sure that that's right. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. Need to approve the HVAC contract. Need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by Botts.
Second.
Second by Pettigo. Okay, to explain this is a contract that is directly with Lions Company to do the work on the HVAC building This is approving the contract to get the work started with the Lions Company. They were the low bid on the HVAC project, and we're approving their contract today to begin work. The equipment is already ordered, and this is basically the contract to get things moving. So the total on the project was, what was the total? 700 and something, I know that.
735,
$735,000. It's on the back. Second page. Total of the project cost is, I've seen it, it's just not, I'm trying to figure out where it's at in them. 735, there it is. $735,535. So, okay, we'll do a motion, we'll do a roll call vote since it's so high, so.
Jeff Botts?
Yes.
Derek Pettigo?
Yes.
Tim Durham?
Yes.
Tim Coomer?
Yes.
Marty Kinslow?
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson?
Yes.
Brad Gross?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Excited to get that going. Okay, approve $650 monthly contribution, health contribution by Barren County. What is this one? Let me see it. Oh, okay, this is for, you're talking about for the employees. Okay, the way it was worded was weird. Okay, this is basically approving that instead of doing $600 a month for our employees towards our health insurance, we are increasing that to $650. It's in the budget. It's already accounted for, so. Need a motion?
Motion, Judge.
Motion by Coomer. What was the second?
Brad.
Second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of payment of Harp Enterprises for $32,280.77.
Motion?
Motion by Botts.
Second.
Second by Pettigo. These are for election expenses. Okay, gotcha. Any discussion on that? If you may have any questions? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next up, discuss medical cannabis. I listed on this as a discussion, so it is open. So if any of the magistrates want to say anything, do anything on this, I'm leaving it as an open discussion, so. Everybody's looking.
I'd just like to say, public, that I am 100% for medical cannabis. As far as our county being opted in or out, I think most of the public knows that once you opt in, you cannot get out. You're locked in. But you can opt in at any time. With all the unknowns, it's not like adopting alcohol. We kind of knew the knowns there from adjoining counties. This is a statewide unknown. My feeling is we should opt out at this time. I think there's, 48 dispensaries going to be in the state. I don't think that we would probably even get one if we applied. The hardest part of this is for me is to, when you opt out, you're opting out of growing, you're opting out of manufacturing, and you're out of the retail or the dispensary. The taxes, the licensing fees are, do you remember what that was, Judge, for the growing and stuff?
They range from $5,000 to $25,000, a licensing fee. It depends on the size and the amount.
I'm very open-minded. That's just my opinion to see how it goes. I think there's a lot of hidden that we don't know that we're going to find out, and it's not like people are not going to be able to get it. I mean, I think anyone that has someone suffering from cancer or anything, I know personally, if my family, there's not much you wouldn't do if you thought that would help them. I'd drive to California and get it if I thought it would help a family member from suffering, and I think any of us would say that. I know there's gonna be a lot of, everyone's gonna have to have a card before you can get it from, be prescribed by a doctor. And as far as taking that versus some of this other man-made pain pills and stuff, I think, how you could be for people taking some of these pain pills so addictive and not be for this, I don't understand it, but that's my personal opinion. So that's my personal opinion. If anybody's got any questions, like I said, I know everyone doesn't agree with it, but I just wanted to throw that out, that I am 100% for medical marijuana, medical cannabis. But as far as opting in as a county, I think, my personal opinion, let's see how it goes for the first year. Thank you.
I agree with Squire Coomer on a lot of his ideas. Only, I put a lot of thought to this, and then we went to a conference this last week and got the opportunity to talk to other counties, and there's several counties that I feel the same as they do. Now, I don't know, I'm like Tim, if it was going to help, if this helps a family member of mine, I want them to have it, if it's going to help their sickness. If we opt out, we're not going to give them the opportunity to do that. If we opt in, we do have some unknowns. But as a magistrate of Barren County, I don't feel like I'm capable of making that decision by myself. So what I propose, I don't know when it needs to be done, but I would like to see it put on the ballot and let y'all vote for whether or not we have it. Y'all are the citizens of Barren County, and y'all what matters. And we're here, we're just a little voice up here speaking for each one of our districts. And but I feel like if something like this comes into our county, I think y'all need to have the choice. And I don't think what's sitting up here on this bench should be deciding yes or no against it. Now, that's just my opinion. I want to see anything help anybody that's out there. I don't consider this like a wet and dry. This is a medical, compared to the wet and dry vote, I don't feel like it'll cause a lot of controversy. Some people's concerned about controversy, splitting the county and all this. I don't see that myself personally, but that is what I would like to see, and like the people to have the choice is what I want.
I'd just like to add to Tim's comment, I have no problem with it going to the county to vote, but I don't think we're prepared. I don't think the voters have had enough information to make an honest vote at this time. I think some people's opinions may change after they see if it's helped people, or if we have problems with it. I think anytime you vote on something, you need to know as much about it as you can. And I don't think we're ready as a county. I know I'm not ready to vote yes or no until I'll have a lot more information.
Well, I would like to go next,
Okay.
and my opinion is going to be different than the other two gentlemen, even though I do respect their position, and both of them did make a lot of good points, but here's my opinion. When I ran for magistrate, I didn't go out in the community. I did not promise one of my neighbors that I was going to pave the road. I didn't say we're going to cut these trees. The only promise that I made, and I did it in front of a camera, it was on local TV and it was on the radio, and my promise was this: the main reason that I ran for magistrate, I want Barren County to be better. I want us to be progressive. Not that I don't like what we are, but we need to be better. We need more jobs. And that's what I promised that I was going to do. Everything I could to get jobs into Barren County. And I believe we've all done, what we can do so far in our term to do that. I'm very happy that we got Maureen's help and others. And we need these jobs for the future. And this industry of medical cannabis is going to bring jobs in growing. It's going to bring jobs in manufacturing, because when that marijuana is grown, it goes from the growing facility to a manufacturing site, and they process it and get it ready for use. And then the last component is going to be the retail or the dispensaries. So that's going to be 3 areas right there for jobs and growth. And this is gonna bring money in from other areas. When we do this, they're gonna come here. And then the other thing, as a farmer, I don't want to restrict anybody from being able to grow, make money, do an economic gain from this. When I was a young man, if this came along, I could see my family maybe being interested in getting into this business. And then, and remember, this is a product that has been deemed safe and effective for many medical conditions. The state of Kentucky has deemed it safe and effective. They've given us the authority to enact it without it going to a vote, which could be a lengthy, long process that I don't want to go through. And then the last thing is my own father-in-law, who's still alive, thankfully, been a working pharmacist for over 60 years. Him and anybody else that's in the pharmacy business will tell you that this product is safer than many, many products that are on their shelves and go out their door every day. And that's just the medical truth. And the last thing I want to say, this is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be today. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, next month, next year. But this has already went on in like 37, 38 states, and now we're in it. And I am not going to be the one that wants to drag my feet and make everybody wait for this. This is the future. And to me, the future's now. So I'm in favor of doing it as soon as possible to opt in. There's also ramifications to anyone who wants to get into the business. They have to do a lot of legwork. They got to put up money. They got to get applications. The longer we wait, the longer they wait. So that's the end of my spiel.
Judge, I got a couple
Okay, go ahead,
comments.
Mr. Gross.
One, I concur, I agree with everything Squire Kinslow just said. And after being at the conference, I think it's 37 or 30 other states that have already approved it. And Kentucky, by far, will be the most regulated of any of them, at least from what I've read into it. The state passed it, They told us it's there. I feel like if we opt out, we don't give anybody that does want to pursue that opportunity a chance to. If we put it on the ballot, I mean, I'll be one of them tell Squire Durham, I can remember all the negativity from the alcohol vote. There's a lot of good things going on in the city and county right now. I really don't want that negativity. And from a personal point of view, after talking to some medical professionals, I mean, I have 2 parents at home that could probably benefit from the product. And is a whole lot better off than a lot of the opioids that, you know, like Squire Coomer said, that's out there that people are taking every day. We're not talking about this stuff that, I know one of the judges up there at the conference made a comment, we're not talking about the stuff you buy at your gas station, okay? This is going to be regulated. I mean, these dispensaries only sell medical cannabis. It's not like they can have anything else. I mean, the regulations are so strict, it even goes down to the garbage cans they have to have. I mean, it's very restrictive. So I support it. I don't want to opt out. I will opt in as quick as possible, because if we do, we're restricting anybody that does want to apply. And it's like Scar Kinslow said, whoever gets into this, they're putting up a lot of money. It's an investment. It's not like they're just, you know, you go out and pick out a occupational license or something. I mean, they're putting a lot of skin in the game. So yes, that's just a few comments. I mean, I know we all have opinions, and that's just mine. Thank you.
Okay, next, anybody else? Yeah, today was just more about discussing. I really don't want to move on anything today, because just like you said, Mr. Durham, you know, you are here because of your constituents. So now that we've had discussion about it.
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
one thing?
Yep.
I was thinking, you know, we have town hall meetings on everything else. Why can't we have town hall meeting on this and just see what the public's saying?
Okay, that's
I
Yeah.
think the public needs to be more aware of it.
They may be somebody that knows more than we know at a town meeting.
Yeah, what basically, what I learned basically last week is that, like they said, you know, it's an application process, so it's not like it's a lottery selection, so you could get nothing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could have multiple people apply within your county and not even be selected. If you do opt out, like I think Mr. Gross or Kinslow said, that might deter people in your area from, you know, applying for because the license is non-refundable, $5,000. So even if you don't get selected, you lose $5,000 guaranteed. I did find that out. So I just wanted to talk about it today. I know that Mr. Might's here. Is there anything you want to chime in?
Yeah, if you don't care.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there needs to be a couple of things that need to be corrected.
Yeah.
First and foremost, this is a drug, a level 3 drug. It is not under the Right to Farm Act. You will not grow this anywhere. Right to Farm Act doesn't cover it. It's state regulated. So this, well, if they can come and they can grow it, we're talking about 16 growers for 120 counties, okay? We're not talking about it being on everybody's farm. That's not going to be allowed, first and foremost.
Right.
Secondly, if you opt out, you are opting out of the growing, building, and selling, processing and selling. You're not opting out of a person being able to utilize it. They can drive to the next county and get it, or to the next city and get it, whatever it might be. You need to be aware of that. That does not keep a person from using it. You're not talking about that. That's not what you're opting out if you opt out of. As Mr. Coomer has said, you can always opt in. If you put this on the ballot and it's voted down, you're out for 3 years. You can't bring it up. You can't be put on a ballot for 3 years.
But the people had the choice.
And people may have had the choice. The information is changing every day. It changed last week. When you all had it, it changed from the week before, the information. It was no longer 3.75 grams, it's 37.5 grams, which is a little over an ounce. So it's changed from the state guidelines in 1 week. Another thing, July 1 to August 31st is the application deadline. you put this on the ballot. The ballot's not till November. So the applications have already been processed. You run that risk of a person paying that money for this, an address here in your county or your city, it getting voted down if that's what happens, and then that person has to relocate. They don't lose their license or anything from the state. They just have to relocate to an area that does permit it. But there are some very specifics that you have to be aware of, and I think you all are, because you all had that CAECO conference study, and they had a lot of info there.
And I'm glad you brought that up about the ballot. I knew that. I had a lot of things I was covering. You're exactly right on that. If you vote, you're looking at the election in November. If not, your only other option is to do a special election before then. And I wish Alina was here so she could tell us how hard that would be and how expensive.
Right.
it
Wait.
would be.
So one other thing too.
I was also told you cannot do a special election.
Yeah, it's only set on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was
Yeah.
told that you
So,
cannot, like you're not allowed.
And I think Mr. Richard could speak to this a little bit, but when you opt out, that is a choice that you can make. You can opt in at any moment, and an individual, say that a different county has opted in, and they want to relocate to your county, they can then relocate to your county. They just have to make the necessary forms and adjustments to the state, and they can relocate to the county after you've opted in. You can opt in April, you can opt in March, you can opt in next November, whenever it might be, but you can always opt in. You just can't opt out. You've got some of the rules that they've laid out. We don't have all the rules they've laid out, that the state has laid out. They've changed things since then. So your timeline is July 1 to August 31st. That's your application process. That's when it's due. That's when a person has to apply. But I want to just make it extremely clear. You are not keeping a person from using it, no matter if you opt in or opt out. You're not keeping that from happening. That person may have to drive an hour to pick it up. They can still use it. They may not. If you opt in and we have a person that gets selected in this county, then they can open up and do their business. There are no regulatory fees like there are ABC with the alcohol. You receive no taxes from this. You receive all of the other requirements from law enforcement, but you receive no fees for this. You can't even institute fees. So.
But it's the same way, Kevin, if people votes it out in Barren County.
Sure.
You still go to Bowling Green and get it.
That's no,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's no.
If they're in,
That's
you
what
would
I
drive
don't
there.
understand. You know, everybody's afraid that Barren County will vote it no. Well, that's their choice. I mean, that's the vote of Barren County. You know, I just feel like.
But you're talking about November.
Yeah.
You're not, the license is closed for 2 months before then. So, you run that risk of individuals that have tried to put in and they're not.
Well, they say, I mean, they're just gonna be 38.
48. Four's going to be
48, yeah.
Four's going to be already set for Louisville, and four's going to be set for Lexington. So there's 40
That ain't a lottery.
for the remainder.
Everybody says it's gonna be picked by lottery. That's not a lottery because they're done set for them. Fayette County and.
That's true. That's what the state says. Once again, changing.
That's right.
It's a randomized, I'm going to use that in quotes, lottery. But 4 of them's already designated for Louisville.
So you're saying if a dispensary was in the city limits of Glasgow taxes cannot,
No.
they can't have an inventory tax like every other
The
business
only
pays?
taxes that they would have is occupational license that they have to pay $50 or $25, and then the net profit.
Net profit.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing they can institute, but they can't institute anything different than any
Right.
other business.
Well, that's okay. I just want to correct.
Yes, sir.
That's what I was kind of thinking,
Yeah.
net profit. I just wanna make
Obviously,
sure.
the county doesn't have
We don't have
occupational
it,
license.
so, I
or
mean, really, the
taxes, so
county, the only tax benefit the county would ever get would be property taxes on the building itself.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Potentially, if someone.
If
located.
if somebody was selected in the county.
So, like Mr. Coomer had talked about saying, if we apply, there is no, you're talking about your citizens, members of Barren County, if they apply, or an individual outside the county relocates here. So, there's a lot of shifting sand with it, just no way around it. So if you do put it up for a vote, which is your option to do, absolutely, it's November. Application process is already over. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Richardson has something he would like to say.
The only thing I wanted to add, and I'm not trying to sway the court, my job's not to be involved in policy, it's to legally advise you, but one of the issues that the county attorneys across the state are looking at with any other type of, regulation, where it's administrative regulations versus criminal, the concerns that I have is enforcement. It's correct that many states have adopted medical marijuana. Many of those states also have adopted recreational. And there are numerous studies that are that have been done on the effects of these two different areas that have kind of overlapped in other states. They've all got their host of problems and issues that pop up. Years ago, when Oregon had legalized, they had a whole system set up, administrative regulations, you couldn't do this and that. They weren't ready for enforcement, and it increased the black market. It increased a lot of issues that popped up with people not, ideally, if everybody does what they're supposed to do, whether they're a dispenser, or growing it or whatever, if everybody does what they're supposed to do, there's no point for laws. What I noticed was in the regulations, there's not the enforcement has to mainly come from the threat of revoking licenses, and then you get, second chances and all that. Or you have to have a quote-unquote serious violation to have your license revoked the first time. And in the meantime, they can still be allowed to operate. And my concerns there are that, without sufficient enforcement, you don't know what effect it's going to have in the community. That's just something to be aware of. And there's difference, like I said, they've got all kinds of states that have had different host of problems. That's things to kind of pay attention to. So that was really the only thing I wanted to bring up in regards to, and like Mr. Maya was saying, the information is always changing. The cabinet is in charge of making a lot of these regulations, and they shift with the winds. I don't trust that. There's a lot of, studies that have been done on different things, a lot of misconceptions. I've spent years in court prosecuting narcotics crimes, and I've, had KSP lab analysts testify to different things. And contrary to what everybody says, nobody goes to jail for like a blunt or marijuana. That's just not true. Half the time, most of the time, they're fined. The only time people end up going to jail is if there's a DUI. And the good thing about these regulations is it doesn't exempt you from being prosecuted for a DUI. For example, if it's in your system, it says in the regulations that which there are no criminal penalties attached if you can't have it within arm's reach, and has to be kept in the package and all that. I do like that they have an electronic system where you have to show the officer, your cannabis card and all that. But again, that's assuming everything works properly. As far as enforcement, all you have left in those situations are, if you prosecute somebody for being under the influence of marijuana, you won't get prosecuted for having the medical marijuana, because there was already an exemption in there. If you had a legitimate card, for example, from another state, you couldn't be prosecuted for possession of marijuana. So those protections were already there in place. There's other misconceptions too about, for example, the one I hear most often is, well, it's going to decrease opioid abuse. That is not true. There are studies that establish that, and again, this kind of, falls in line with chronic marijuana usage, mostly for recreational use. It can increase opioid dependency. And I've seen some states where they had medical marijuana being used, and it coincided with an increase in alcohol abuse. So, and that's why the federal government is debating about whether to transfer from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, and that's another misconception about the Controlled Substances Act. People think that marijuana was listed as Schedule 1 because it's just as dangerous as heroin and fentanyl, and that's just not true. It was the Schedule 1 controlled substances are for those substances that the government believes have no medicinal value. And again, you can debate all day about marijuana and its medicinal effects and all that, and that's why they've debated about transferring it to Schedule 3. So there could be more studies. And also doctors have an issue with, advising their patients about all the side effects, and all the side effects are not clearly known. There's an established studies about chronic marijuana usage and the onset of psychosis and other mental health disorders. So the jury's still out on all the possible side effects that doctors need. And like I said, I'm not going to get in the way of it. If a doctor comes in here and says what they feel about it in their professional opinion, I'm not going to jump up and argue with them or anything, but there's also, other doctors that establish there are numerous side effects and other issues. So there's a lot of information that's just shifting with the wind, I'm only bringing that up again for the court to consider all those things. You know, and whatever you want to do, hey, the state's decided we're doing this, and we're giving you the power to either not do it, or if you do it, you have to regulate time, place, and manner, and that's what we're going to do. But it's just a lot of things that I would ask the court to keep in mind that I've mentioned.
Okay. I've appreciated all the discussion. I hope if there's anybody else that wants to say
Got
anything.
one other
Go
thing I
ahead.
was thinking, that people are listening, it's going to be in the media, to help us magistrates make a decision. Apparently, we're going to have to come up with some type of decision, that each one has a district, that anyone that's possibly out there considering, like Marty said, we don't want to hinder anybody from trying to better or come in with a business, to call us, anybody in my district, in each district, or even up at the main office, if they're even thinking about in doing this. If we get 0 calls, then we know nobody's interested. We may get a ton of calls. So I would suggest anybody in my district that's possibly thinking about this, give me a call and we'll talk and see. That's just, it's going to be, if we don't want to let people speak, then they can call us and see who's interested.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to having a town hall. If that's something everybody wants to do. I mean, I like hearing from individuals, and I'm fine with that. I do not think that we need to do anything with it this month.
No.
Because we need time. And I think, like you said, gives time for your constituents and any other constituents from other districts to call you, talk to you about it, give you time to think this over. But I would prefer not to do anything with this in the next 2 special called meetings. And we definitely push this out to July, and we can revisit it back in July. Is that
I
okay?
agree.
I don't want to put the sheriff in a position, but do you have any comments about this? I mean, you're going to be the one, it's going to be a burden on, and I just wonder if you don't, that's fine.
It's going to be an increased workload, like the attorney said. We're going to get people that are going to cheat the program. I mean, that's the source of my customer. They're not complying with the law. So, for that part, I don't know. I do think we need input from the majority of the people. I do think we need input for understanding. But as far as enforcement action, as the attorney pointed out, we're going to get a lot of people who are going to skirt the system, who are going to try to get by without a card or a revoked card or expired card, whatever. That's just not about paper.
Yeah.
Much less somebody throwing something out in the flower pot and they said, oh, this is for my medical use. So it's just going to, for a while, until we get it ironed out, it's just going to increase a little workload.
Thank you.
I feel longer we wait, the less chance of some farmer, producer, and processor in this area will get it. And if it does happen, somebody gets to raise it, it'll liable to go to some other county to process it. So we're gonna lose out on that chance. If we opt out, it'd be 3 years, it's done deal. All the farmers are done be set, the processors will be set, it'll be done in somewhere else, other county.
Whatever you all want to do. I mean,
We'll just wait till the next time, we'll do something maybe. We'll learn more about it between now and then.
okay.
I agree that we need to wait at least until July, but I believe that we really need to have a solution or decision in July, because the clock is already ticking on this right now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only 3 years if it goes to the ballot. If you opt out, you can opt in at any time. It's only 3 years if it goes to the ballot and it's not voted in.
Thank you.
That, you can always opt in, is what I'm saying, opt out. So the 3-year thing only applies to the ballot, to the vote.
But like I say, if Mr. Jones here wants to file an application to do this by July 1, and we don't opt in till November, he can't get his application, he won't be able to do it.
When's the deadline for?
My understanding is this, though. July 1 to August 31st is the application process. You actually have until December the 30th, 31st, essentially, to say you're opting in. So he or she can apply and put the address of wherever they're going to do the processing or the growing or the dispensary. And then if you opt out, then he or she has to relocate, okay? So there's two different time periods the state has put out. July 1 to August 31st, you can put applications in. And you can put it in Barren County and Glasgow, in any of them right now. When they officially opt out, then that person has to change where their address is going to be if they've been awarded the license. So you have until December to actually opt out or opt in. You have that decision. It's just, if it's voted down or if it's opted out, those individuals have to relocate that may have received an application.
One thing people need to understand, you talk about too, this is not something you're gonna grow out in a field. This
No.
is greenhouse.
Yeah.
No,
We're
this
talking-
ain't even greenhouse. This is indoors, no windows, no nothing, completely. Facility.
It's gotta be a
Secure facility. No greenhouse,
We're
no
talking
nothing.
$1 million investments, millions of dollars to not, it's not like, I'm not saying,
It's
just
not
your
gonna be a
100
model.
acre.
Depends on the
It's not gonna
size,
be
yeah.
a model operation.
More than likely won't. And
It's gonna
as
be
speaking
a
from
big
as a
time,
planning
yeah.
director, we're gonna do whatever the court wants to go with. Just know, we can't regulate it. We have there's no land use restrictions, no zoning in the county. So the only thing we're gonna have is building code and setbacks. So there's no regulation when it comes to how we can regulate that. So, but we will follow your all's lead. I just wanted you all to have all the info, and you all have a considerable amount of information before I stood up and presented anything to you. So just know that it's completely indoors. You have until December 31st to actually opt in or opt out. But people can get it between July and August. So that's where it's at.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, thank you. Anyone else? Did everybody get a chance to say anything that they wanted to say? Okay. We'll discuss this. We'll follow up with this in July. The next court meetings we have a special called meeting on June the 20th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. That is for the second reading of the budget. And we also have a meeting on June the 27th at 8:30 a.m. for the second reading of the amendment to the current budget. Yes.
Also, with my monthly report, I
Yeah.
had submitted an amended budget report. Did you all receive that? It wasn't on the agenda. So-
Okay, well, I'm glad you did get that. Okay.
So that was voted on as well. We did decrease that a little bit. I just put it.
Was that included in your amendments, Mandy? Okay, so we would need to do that separately. Thank you for bringing that. Okay, okay. So when, yeah,
These gentlemen have something to speak of, I don't know.
No, we came
Soil
for the
company.
budget to be approved.
yeah,
That was the first thing on the
yeah,
agenda.
they just listen.
Some of these guys got here a little bit late, and they weren't aware that it's already done.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we approved it, though.
So I'm glad I've been passing the note around, trying to communicate.
Thank you for bringing this up. I thought it was already included. Okay, Helena's office, we need does this require 2 readings, or is this just one?
This is just their monthly report.
This is just their monthly.
This is an amended 2024 fee budget from our office, that we turn into the Department of Local Government.
Okay,
We've usually only had one reading of it.
okay.
We did the original one, we submitted in December of last year, and this is an amended one.
So we need to approve, I'm just trying to make sure I say it correctly. We need to approve the amended 2000 fee budget, okay, for the county clerk office.
So moved.
Need a motion, Coomer? Motion by
Yes.
Coomer. Second by Kinslow. And I talked to Alina this morning, and what this was about, go ahead, was just the additional fees that you all received.
Right, we
Yeah.
included the payouts to the health department, and then our storage fees, which had originally been paid out to the fiscal court, are now in and out because they're in a separate account to be used for recordings. Also, what will be reflected in our Q2 report is the grant that we received from the Department of Local Governments, the House Bill 1 grant. It's only to be used for
That's awesome.
So that's a good offset for a lot of, several things we have to do, pertaining to KRS to get up to date.
Yeah.
So that amount's gonna help a lot.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so, you know, I'm just debating on, do we need to have both special call meetings, or do we not? Do we need to do both of them on the same? I mean, so that's the second reading of the main budget, and then that's the second
How
reading.
many
of the main
tractors you
budget
gotta go fix?
from last year. Just doing both separate? Or do you want to do it? Like, yeah, no, I'm just saying, I've got two different meetings. Do we need to just do them all in one? Huh? Okay. Well, the advertisement was today. Remember? Okay, so basically, yeah, just making sure everybody understands, the second reading of the fiscal year 2025 budget is June the 20th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. It will be a very quick meeting, because that is, we've got maybe 2 items on the agenda. And then June 27th at 8:30 a.m. will be the second reading of the amended budget for fiscal year 2024. Yes, okay? To close everything out, I'll announce, just remind everybody about the county fair. Starts pageant this Saturday. Everything else starts on Tuesday, goes through Saturday. Concert on the Square June 28th. Community band on the Square July 5th. Louisville Orchestra on the Square July 11th. Make sure and hope to see you at the fair. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer. Second by Durham. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Being adjourned. Thank you.